Nintendo stands to be the greatest threat to gaming going forward in the 21st century. There may be a greater threat, like an electromagnetic pulse that disables the world's electronics, but as it stands right now, Nintendo, with its myriad of patents and chasing people down, stand to be a huge threat. Take Pocket Pair, for instance. They are not an independent gaming company. They are instead a company that is developing a game in the style of Pokemon with the intention of creating most of the same features. This is a very dangerous path to tread, considering what, they're known for, at least now anyway. Pocket Pair has become the sacrificial lamb, the FAFO of the Pokemon imitation games, if you will. And now, as an independent creator, especially after what happened with Schedule 1, we have to look over our shoulders and check this long list of patents and lawsuits to make sure that our creation has not fallen into some type of weird legal spider web just waiting to capture anybody that dares do something that works. And unfortunately, this story has been going on for quite a while now, and this is how it all started. Palworld, developed by Pocket Pair, launched in early 2024 and quickly became a massive hit, selling millions and breaking player records on Steam and Game Pass. But since day one, fans noticed similarities to Pokemon. Think capturing creatures with spheres, exploring a vibrant open world, and of course having these creatures fight each other in a dogfighting manner. Anyway, I digress. Nintendo and the Pokemon Company took notice of this too, and they weren't too happy about what Pocket Pair had done. In September of 2024, they filed a patent infringement lawsuit against Pocket Pair in the Tokyo District Court, claiming Palworld violates multiple patents like capturing creatures in a virtual field and using them for transport. Pocket Pair says they're fighting back, arguing these patents shouldn't even be valid since mechanics like these are in tons of other games. But while the legal battle rages on, Pocket Pair has been forced to make some big changes to Palworld. But let's zoom out for just a second here. Should game mechanics even be patentable? According to copyright law in places like the US and UK, mechanics like capturing monsters or gliding aren't protected. They're considered ideas, not specific expressions. And by expressions, they mean these things that are sort of integral to what makes the game the game. Capturing monsters is not integral to what makes Pokemon Pokemon. The Pokemon are what make Pokemon the thing that makes Pokemon. Critics, like in this Tech Dirt article, argue that these patents should have never been awarded. Lots of games, from Monster Hunter to Final Fantasy XIV, have similar features. Nintendo has a history of being super protective of its IP. They've shut down fan games, sued hackers, and even won a $15 million lawsuit against Chinese developers in 2024 following a copyright infringement lawsuit, and them winning it, of course. But patenting gameplay mechanics, well, that's always gone sideways. Let's take the Shadow of Mordor's Nemesis system that Warner Brothers tried to defend. There was a great bit of backlash over that. But all of this legal battle over how you can make your video game and what it can do, we can talk about Schedule 1 even. Look at the mess that they're in with Drug Dealer Simulator. What we're going to end up running into over and over and over again is this patent infringement circus that has been allowed to be exercised across all of gaming. When it comes to things like brand identity, I absolutely understand why Nintendo is doing what they're doing. But patenting gameplay mechanics has nothing to do with the brand identity of Pokemon. Throwing things at cute creatures to capture them is not something wholly unique to Pokemon, nor should it. And again, the success rate of capturing those creatures in the wild as opposed in battle settings, for instance, that is not something that should be patented. There's no way on earth to make that patented. How do you defend that? That means that everybody else that wants to capture things in the wild in their game, be they Pokemon-like, Digimon-like, perhaps they're just vegetables out there in the wild, you gotta capture them. Anyway, that means that your game can't exist because Nintendo will come and get you. They'll come right out from underneath your bed, tickle your feet. They'll get ya. In the long-running contest for mankind's survival, a decision falls upon the individual to make a choice that will mark the rest of their lives. Become a subscriber or remain a lurker. So, what's changing? With the latest patch, V0.5.5, gliding with pals is out the window. Instead, you'll need a glider in your inventory, though your pals can still give passive buffs to gliding. Pocket Pair admitted these changes are a direct result of the lawsuit, calling them compromises to avoid bigger disruptions, like a potential legal injunction that could halt Palworld's development entirely. Despite the drama, Pocket Pair isn't giving up. They're still committed to Palworld with the new content like the Faybreak update dropping recently. Think new islands, bosses, Xenolord, and even a Terraria crossover later this year. They've thanked the fans for sticking by them, and honestly, the community is on their side in this one, agreeing that this is pretty bizarre to see gameplay mechanics that are pretty basic being patent controlled by the mighty Nintendo. And so as you can see, with your own two eyes, the situation is going to continue to spiral out of control until there's finally some kind of legal limitation put on this, that companies are not allowed to make essential features, functional features, patent controlled. Now that seems very rotten, of course. You work very hard to come up with some unique gimmick, but the problem is that 4 wheels on a car could have been patent. You know, seatbelts could have been patent. I think for a short time, windshield wipers were patent. The automatic transmission would have become patent. This is the problem. The automobile alone would have been piecemealed out into all these different pieces. So it's one of these strange things that we're going to continue to run into as you and I, the average person, not a mega corporation with a army of lawyers at our expertise, at our disposal. That's the word. At our disposal. That's going to continue to plague it, because what you're going to end up with is someone who's very passionate about a project like Palworld, and then you're going to end up with creating something that it falls into these legal traps where over and over and over again, what was really fun and interesting and different about your game becomes legally subject to discrimination and destruction, as we've seen with the end of the glider function with Palworld. Either way, guys, as I've talked about today, let me know what you think down in the comments below. And anyway, guys, as always, good luck out there.